Hi, my name is Amir Zafary. I am a member of Group 6 and our topic is infrastructure. What I wanted to make my policy paper about was transportation. Now, what we do tend to see within California is not the most elaborate transportation system. And due to this, we see a lot of traffic in highly population dense areas such as LA County and Orange County. You don't see it too much around the Grapevine, but you do definitely see it up in the Bay Area as well, in San Francisco. So I decided to do a sort of compare and contrast in my paper between the high-speed rail and the Hyperloop, because either way, both of them are going to be helping the entire situation in regards to the traffic problem and how to make our transportation infrastructure better. But I wanted to highlight the reasons why one choice is better than the other. So going right to it, technology is definitely helping. However, politics is not. And so, take for example the COVID-19 outbreak. If we had a sort of infrastructure that was more clear and concise, but there was no way we would have had it because we never saw this coming. But had we had it, then the politics would have never gotten in the way, and we would have been able to respond to this threat a lot better. And that's why I think that the transportation infrastructure is very important too. Because sooner or later, we have a California infrastructure that can only support 20 million people, yet we're supporting 40 million with that model. So I would like to go ahead and present that the only way to improve transportation is if we make something that's more mobile, more economic friendly, that can bolster the economy, and is environmental friendly. Now, the perfect thing is whether we go with the Hyperloop or the California high-speed rail, we will have both of those. And I will actually prove it to you, though, that the Hyperloop is better than the high-speed rail. So now, in regards to mobility, the Hyperloop will be new technology, whereas the HSR will be low technology. The high-speed rail will be 200 miles per hour and electric, and of course this will be able to open up parts of California that within a day wouldn't have been accessible anyway. And obviously it's old tech. As we move forward to the new generations, it's important that we start developing new technology. That way down the line we don't have to do it later. That's why the Hyperloop is key, because it essentially is a pressurized tube in a capsule that is shot at 760 miles per hour using magnets. It's an interesting technology and it's theoretically correct. Of course, now this brings us down to economy. The HSR, which is the high-speed rail, of course it will allow for better accessibility, especially in regards to trade and being able to work perhaps 200 miles away from where you actually live, but the high-speed rail is a lot more efficient, especially in the sense that it can be going up to 760 miles per hour. Other than that, you could be working in Los Angeles and living in San Francisco, and you could be there in 30 minutes. Easily, you could be a commuter. Now, other than this, it's also worth noting that the high-speed rail will be costing California around $80 billion just for 119 miles of track. Right now, they're currently creating that in the Merced-Fresno area, and those tickets will actually be around $86 per passenger. Now, this is a lot of money. This one, for example, this track is actually $12 billion. Whereas if we decided to do the same thing with the Hyperloop, it would be $6 billion, and tickets would be around $20 per passenger. Of course, this is a lot better for our trade infrastructure as well, because once you start going into freights and trade, it will be doing wonders because you'd be able to allow your product to get anywhere in California within just a few hours without even having to use the hassle of airplane, car, or any fuel sort of that. Now I'm going to be going into energy and why clean energy is so important. So of course, the high-speed rail is electric, and because of the fact that it is electric, we won't be seeing a lot of gas emissions, especially since the fact that they won't be creating the high-speed rail on the floor or on the ground. What they will be doing is they'll be building bridges over the railroad crossings. That way, the stopped car won't be emitting so much gas. However, despite this and the fact that it has renewable energy, I do believe that the Hyperloop is better because it is self-sustainable in the sense that it has solar panels attached to it. Now, when it has these solar panels attached, it makes it so that it is self-sustainable and it can basically convert its own energy without having to pay a premium to these electric companies that the high-speed rail would have to do just to have its own power grid. Now, clearly, both options are perfect. They will be able to help congestion everywhere because currently what we are facing is that the world in itself has a traffic problem and California has a lot of congestion. To be able to combat that, it is important that we go ahead and go with either the high-speed rail or the Hyperloop to be able to combat traffic congestion and to make our nation and our country ideally a lot less congested. Thank you.